Hey, Plan A. Give us some insights. I thought the voice is not yet live, the newest voice. Like I haven't got the newest voice yet. I still have the old version. So I thought they haven't pushed it yet, but well, I guess you have it already. Um, the voice was there before, but the newest included voice, which they showed the demo like a week or two ago, that is not live yet. So that's why I mean not on my end yet. I agree. The YouTube is live, and yeah, people can hear me. It seems as well. I see Eric. Yeah. I'm looking forward to what Eric has to say. I mean, you haven't joined for some time, so I'm looking forward to what you have, what you have for news today for us. Yeah, I guess he just has. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, he has to embrace it. I guess. Yeah, Eric is seems to be a speaker now. Hi, can you hear us, Eric? Not too bad. All is well. Are you taking a walk as usual when you have these talks? You always have background noise and you're walking. No, no, no. Today I think it's fine. I think he was also in the space.
The various projects that are building on TitanX will be uh, able to give us a summary update as to where we are. And after that, we have the Titan Guidings, who I think it's a meme on TitanX. Anyway, it's a meme coin within our ecosystem, and we're going to get a briefing as to where we are and how to participate. Again, whatever transpires here is not financial advice and should not be treated as such, just for educational purposes. And those of us or those who wish to participate with respect to TitanX Guardian or Guardians, and of course with any other project, I think we do owe it to ourselves to dig deeper and find out a bit more about any project we want to participate in. Okay, on that note, let me kick off. There hasn't been much change in the TitanX distribution, and also over the last couple of months. We know that this is a quiet period, and over this period, there's been kind of a lot of, I feel like your boring period. A lot is happening under the surface, and that is, of course, with the additional protocols that are being built on TitanX. I think for a full list, we can go to TitanXHub.com to find out the list, those that have launched and those that are yet to launch. So, so in effect, there is a lot going on under the surface. Above the surface, when you look at the stats, there's not much. So, as mentioned earlier, this is pretty much very high level. In terms of the TitanX on the market, that's liquid TitanX, we have 33, rounding up 33 trillion TitanX on the market. That represents 29.42% of total supply. In terms of state, we've got 14 trillion, just a little over 14 trillion, 14.1 trillion of TitanX state, and that represents 12.69%. Sorry, 12.63% of total TitanX that's been minted. Buy and burn. This is really a good piece of information because this is an important part of the protocol. And for buy and burn, we've got 44.3 trillion TitanX tokens that have been bought and burned since inception. In percentage terms, that's 39.66%. That's a huge chunk of the pie. Now, I think we just going back a few months ago, looking at Mike Dean's analytics, we know that in total, well over 120 trillion TitanX tokens have been mined. Looking at these numbers, the buy and burn, it's 44 of the total numbers that were mined, and there's still some that that are still not yet minted. But of the total that's been minted so far, or mined and minted, it means that 44.3 trillion of these tokens are not coming back on the market. They've been bought and burned. That's good news. We look at the build on TitanX protocol. We've got over 10 protocols. Build on TitanX protocols. We've got over 10.5 trillion. And I'm rounding that up a bit slightly, but 10.5 trillion TitanX tokens. Those are not coming back either. Not going to be launched, not coming back on the market. So you can add that to the buy and burn percentage. In terms of numbers, 10.5 trillion. That's correct. In terms of percentage, that's 9.36% of TitanX, tokens. have been channeled into these BOT protocols. Hyper, just Hyper on its own has 7.28% of all TitanX tokens. In numbers, that represents 8.1 trillion. So, in effect, if we look at the various stages of TitanX, and just to remind ourselves, and I'll just pause, kind of wrap up on this. We started off with mining TitanX and minting TitanX, getting TitanX into as many hands as we could, and that's the hyperinflationary stage. We moved on to the build on TitanX phase, which is a phase that will propel us into, if you like, the third phase, which is your the inflationary stage. Now, when you look at this, when you look at these stats, you can see we're moving in the right direction, even though, of course, we're in a period, the boring phase, as it is. We are pretty much, the story is really panning out as originally expected. Now, let me wrap up. Let's keep an eye on August. We're only, if you just, well, we're not, this is June, so July, we got, July and then August. So we're just about 8 weeks away from August. August is an important milestone. It's 280 day. We hit the 280 day mark in August. We're currently, today is day 219. Day 280 would have 18 to 20 trillion tokens potentially hitting the market. And between now and August, we're expecting a number of protocols to launch. So, of course, we've got Blaze, Pulsar, possibly X28, possibly. And so, again, I have no particular information on X28, but I better put that out there. Pulsar, I think potentially the feel I get is that it probably will launch before day 28, 280. And I think we're very close, just going by, the sentiment in the community, in the Blaze community and the updates, is that we're very close. So long and short of it, over the next 8 weeks, there's certain milestones to hit. Getting up to the 280 day, and let's see what happens. And after that, the major milestone after that is of course your day 369, where we're looking at currently sitting in the buy and burn pool is just a little under 10 million USD worth of ETH. So there's a lot that is really in the pipeline, and TitanX is gearing up really an entire ecosystem for some really good times ahead, in my view. Okay, so on that note, that opening, I think I'd like to hand over to Mike for a word or two, and then, of course, we've got our, great protocols to hear from, or great founders that we definitely would sort of looking forward to hearing from. Mike, over to you.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Plan A. So I think one of the things I would like to mention today is definitely the Vortex. So if you guys participated in Hyper, that there is the Vortex pool, which triggers in around 11 days. So it does trigger every 98 days. So in that pool, there is TitanX and ETH. And for the first time in day 98, the TitanX will be triggered. I think the Ethereum triggers the first time on the day 196, but in around 11 days, because now if you check on the app.hyper.win, you're going to see it's day 87 and it triggers on day 98. So that's something for some of you guys who have participated in Hyper are looking forward to. Because that's definitely that TitanX is going to be used to buy and burn Hyper via the TitanX Hyper pool. So that's definitely something people are looking forward to. And some of the other things, I'm just going to go and visit titanxsub.com. And what we can see here is, for instance, Blaze. I think we have one of the speakers here, so he's going to update us as well. Because if I remember correctly, May was the launch date. But I'm not exactly sure what exactly happened, but probably he's going to update us and see where that takes us. So that was regarding Blaze. The other thing I'm looking forward to, I'm not sure that's why Eric is here today. Boros protocol. I think Eric is the spokesperson for it, so maybe he has something for us today. Looking forward to that as well, and potentially also Titan Farms. I mean, Eric is also part of that project. I mean, it's his project, I think, and probably he's gonna give us some updates as well on that one. Yeah, apart from that, I'm really looking forward to some of the projects which are going to be launching. I think we have Pulsar, well, Blaze, as I said, as well, X28. I haven't updated anything on TitanX Sub regarding X28 because I'm not sure if Shogun Shogun is X28 or anything. So that's why I haven't updated anything. But as long as I get more information, I will update it on that website. That's probably a quick update from my side. If anything, we're gonna discuss it a bit later. All right, thank you, and over to Helios, or to Plan A first.
No, thanks, Mike. Yes, I mean we can go. We can do it this way. Let's say, yes, okay. Dude, you could lead. Then James, Eric, and then Blaze. We can hear from you to Crypto. Great. Okay. Over to you, dude.
Yeah, I've got just a quick update. We had our town hall meeting the other day in Telegram, and it was recorded if anybody wants to catch the replay on that. Just discussing the buy and burn rates. We're looking at possibly adjusting that. As of right now, it's just holding the same. And then also, what are we doing with the Ethereum and Pulse that we are acquiring in our investment pool? Last I checked with day 369, we're definitely interested in that day as well. We're going to get a decent little chunk of the ETH that's in that pool. And what are we doing with it? That's a good question. For any of the community members, jump in our Telegram, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on the direction that you'd like to see that ETH move. Obviously, a big portion of that is going towards the Helios buy and burn, but we have some set aside as well. That's 20% of that is going towards something different that will help us diversify our treasuries and keep Helios sustainable outside of the TitanX ecosystem. Also, we've got Giannis, been running smoothly for a couple, 2-3 weeks now. I'm still looking at doing a deep dive into Giannis and then exactly what it is and how it helps Helios and TitanX ecosystem. We're going to do a deep dive with Mike Dean in the next week or so. So keep your eye out for any more announcements on that. And I'm looking forward to all of these protocols that are soon to be launching on TitanX. This is where some more excitements, it had, like as Plan A was saying, it's been a little, I don't want to say boring, but I will say that the excitement is coming back for me as these new protocols start launching up. And I'm curious what the villain of TitanX has to say. Thanks.
Hello, that's me, right? How you guys doing?
That is you.
Good. Thanks, man. I'm interested to learn more about Janus as well. It seems pretty interesting. Fantastic work. Yeah, guys. So I can give you a little update on Titan Farms. I mean, I've been tweeting and in DragonX chat. I've been trying to kind of describe the situation with that, which is basically we want more pairs before we launch. There's a little bit more UI work to be done, but the contracts are basically done. So it would be nice to have X28 and Blaze for that, just because it would be nice to have all the pairs out and then we can gauge them appropriately, as opposed to having just a few pairs and they're getting all the APY and then the new pairs launch. So that's kind of why we haven't launched Titan Farms. Another thing I want to mention is, guys, if you are trying to ship and you're having trouble shipping, because there's been a lot of, I don't know, there's been a bit of a delay in shipping. And if you have the resources, but you're having trouble executing, DM me, because we're a bit busy right now with projects, but we're going to be having some open space to build stuff for TitanX. So if you are a creator and you have a vision and you want us to execute on it, we're obviously not cheap, but we do top quality work. So I can help accelerate the development of the ecosystem by being a development partner. Obviously, it's not for everyone because we're not a cheap group, and you have to be committed to it. But if you have the resources, DM me, and we might be able to fit you in. So that's another thing that we can do to help speed things along here, because losing momentum sucks, right? We don't want to be in this phase where we're just waiting. This is what we did for everyone that was a Pulse chain. This is what we did for 2 years, right? Waiting for Pulse chain to launch. It's really bad for morale. People chase shiny objects in crypto, and we don't want them to leave TitanX and chase shiny objects elsewhere. So that's kind of something I'm putting forward to the community. So please strongly consider that. For Ouroboros, the time is not yet to talk about Ouroboros. Things need to firm up a little bit more with that. But yeah, I'm hoping to represent that. Now, before I put my face on that, I need to do a lot of due diligence into the code. So that's going to take some time. But yeah, I'm hoping to, if Mike will have me, I'm hoping to do a few live streams. Maybe get kindness back into the fold. So that's kind of a quick round trip on everything I had. The last thing is, I'm thinking about a Skunkworks project. It's kind of I was already talking to a dude about this. I want to keep it quiet for now. I don't want to disclose any information, but it would be very exciting for me to build it. It would burn a lot of TitanX and be, I think, beneficial. But I'm looking for kind of a roundtable on that. So if you're a founder or you're an influencer and you want to join a group with me, we can talk about it, what it would be. And I need consensus from multiple builders because it's a pretty ambitious project. So we need to coordinate to a degree. But if the consensus is that yes, the other builders would use it, then it's a potential go. And that would be later this summer probably or something. It wouldn't be something for now. But just DM me on Telegram or here on Twitter for that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you. James, do you have any updates that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, as usual, I'll give kind of a really quick one. So Baby DragonX, we're keeping everything steady over there. The buy and burn is being kept at just every 12 hours, so it's really light. People are interested in keeping the buy and burn for later. There was that incredible spike of DragonX price, and people loved it. So now they're more willing to hold and wait for that magical day 369, I think, like everyone else. We're still up 65% over launch price. And we were up 100% just a couple days ago, and somebody dropped a few $100 sale. So we're kind of waiting just a little while to kind of gauge things out on what's coming up for launches before we run a DAO vote, a governance vote, because we do have some funds where we're able to participate, whether we buy into a new protocol or we help build one or something like that. So we're ready, but we're not taking any action quite yet. Eric, definitely I'm interested in giving you my opinion as a founder for your conversation over there. So I'll send you a DM. Thanks for the time, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks, James. Thank you. Utah Crypto. What's the latest with Blaze? We're all kind
Hey guys. So the latest is the third audit came back. No security vulnerabilities again. So that's out of all 3 audits, none of them had found security vulnerabilities. So that's good. There are some some adjustments and some tweaks that the devs are going to implement into the code, mainly to do with efficiencies of how things work behind the scenes. The latest test net is absolutely awesome. We've been playing on it for a few days, and I personally love it. We will launch this month for sure. We are still doing a 1K ETH giveaway every week. So we'll announce that winner on Tuesday. So make sure everybody goes and enters. Follow us on X for that. And on Tuesday's weekly Blaze stream, we will have Pulse Ray Vision and Crypto Kool-Aid will be the guest speakers. So tune into that on YouTube and X. And that's about all the updates that I have. We are very, very close. Trust me, we're giving $1,000 away a week until launch. So we want to launch as soon as possible, right? It's a lot of money we're giving away. So
Great. Ali, do you have anything to add to that at all? Do I could send you an invite? I thought you were speaking. Sorry. I mean, I'm sure you've given a full update, but of course, in the spirit of I actually thought Ali was on of course, had a speaker. Thought he, if he had anything to add, that would be great. Anyway, Ali, you still, I've sent you the invite. In any case, let me sort of line up OpSec. I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. But yes, it's your turn. So your turn next. So let me. You've got an invite to explain or introduce us to Titan Guardians. Looking forward to it. Great. Anyway, yes, I think you could go ahead now. I think I saw you in a minute. I don't think Ali has anything to add. Great. Okay, good. Yuta, are you speaking? Can everyone hear me?
You're loud and clear.
You can hear me. Great. Just making sure that. Okay, good. Okay, I'll say thank you for coming up. Over to you. The floor is yours. By the way, when you finish, I'd like to engage our founders just to give us a bit of their view on what's on the horizon, just in terms of TitanX. I know a number of the projects are a bit under wraps for now, but I'd like just to share your view as to what the next, say, 4 to 6 months will look like. And I think that so your insights will really be appreciated. So please do hold on. I'll say over to you.
Hi guys. You guys hear me?
Hello. Yeah.
Hi.
Clearly.
Yeah. So just a little I would like to say thank you for keeping this community together and keeping them engaged, keeping them updated. A little bit about the Titan Guardians, that's what I was supposed to say about them. Just a meme coin, cost nothing. Right, its own base. People simply get some of these coins by just creating posts about TitanX and projects that has been built on TitanX, like 880,000 token or 8 million token, like that, just by creating posts. That helped the algorithm a lot. Some people get it, some people doesn't get it, but it is what it is. Like, the more you get people to follow, the more you get people to engage, the more the system, keep growing and growing and growing. Builder is building. Oh, Jake built it. We see Eric did. We see the Helios did. I'm excited for Blaze. Seeing the baby DragonX. So there's really nothing special about them, but it's free. Won't hurt anyone. It will benefit a lot. they had they wanted to launch and they like buried with TitanX and stuff like that. But then what happened was Helios. When Helios first launched, the gas fee was really very high, and some people didn't get in because of that. I mean, for the wheels, you don't care about $80 transaction fee or $100 transaction fee, but for the average user, for the simple people, it's a lot of money for them. And that was the idea of going to base, as it's supposed to be like a strong blockchain, cheap fees, stuff like that. So it will be pretty much built around it, around the community. A lot of projects are building right now. I had a really question for them. Like I chat with them a lot. And I was like, how are you going to put that together, He said, eventually there will be a protocol that connect all this chain together. Like we see Helios is building on Bolsa chain. And like some protocol are coming. I'm not sure how. Like a lot of them, I know some of them we don't really know a lot about it yet, like farms and on board chain. There's a lot. So that's pretty much all about the Titan Guardians. Just a meme coin, cost nothing. Simply create a post, get your free token, and we will see what else they have, I think that's it for today, man. I appreciate your time.
Great. Thanks, Jose. Just very quickly, just for the benefit of the community, are you going to airdrop these tokens into TitanX wallet holders, or what's the approach?
So here is what happened first. They wanted to have a pre-sale or something, and then I think me and the TEDx is here. We commented on their post. I was like, "Can you make it free by engaging?" Someone say, "Can we airdrop it to people?" Just to airdrop it to the holders, we don't really think it will benefit anyone because he's not going to engage. He's not going to create posts. Like if they create every day 10-15 posts and people engage with them, and every post have TitanX in it, have Blaze in it, have DragonX in it, have Helios in it. So they are dropping the tokens to those who engage with them. Code post, hashtag change every day. And I've been checking them, like they have been doing it on a random basis. They reached out to a lot of people. I remember I reached out to the Helios team and I was like, folks, this is just a marketing tool, it's a meme coin. The airdrop is going. It's like if you check their profile, their token is max supply, zero fee, no taxes at all. The ownership is re-announced, so no one can adjust the contract forever, which is pretty cool as well. Yeah, they are doing the airdrop on a random basis, like every week, every other day. And I checked their information, their contract address. I think they have like 150 holders as of right now. Like a lot of people have been engaging with them, and I like it. Like every time, how the algorithm work. I miss a lot of posts, different time zones and stuff like that. But by the engage with the project, so I'll be able to see what Blaze is doing if I missed something. I will see what Helios is doing if I missed it. Like it's kind of cool. And yeah, they're doing the airdrop. It's going actually right now.
I see. So in effect, if any community member wants to participate or benefit from the airdrop or airdrops, it will be, they have to demonstrate engagement.
Yep, exactly. Create a post, like, repost, and use the hashtag. What is the hashtag? It's TitanXG, TitanX, DragonX, Helios, Blaze. Build on TitanX. So it's not about them actually. It's more about TitanX more than Titan Guardians.
Okay, great. I think we'll continue to hear more from you. You're very active on Twitter, so I would say to anyone who wants to really, go in and participate, to please do visit the Titan Guardians Twitter page, and you should get the information. I mean, also just to be clear, is this information? I know I visited your site on this, but is this information readily available on the site?
So
on the the page
On the Guardians?
Yes.
On the Guardians, yeah, every post is the pretty much explain about it. There is actually the person who's managing the account is active. He's based in Dubai, so it's a different time zone. Like I'm in the United States. It's my morning, it's 9:30 a.m. where I live now in Vegas. So they put this post, they're working on putting it officially. Actually, I had a talk with James about that. How do we do it officially? But then there was a lot of websites where it required you to connect, and you know how scam run around the stuff. So they're working on doing something officially, like a website or something to help with that. But as of right now, they are actually very active. They engage with posts. They will could post to someone who's post and you know like doing those things. And it's just crazy. When every time you open your X, you will just see TitanX, you know, Titan Guardians. You see these things, and I love it. It's kind of cool idea. You never know what will happen with it. It's just a meme coin, and it's free.
Sure. Well, I think probably I don't know whether whether you think probably updating the information that we have on TitanX Hub may help put the information out there as to how to participate. I'm actually on your page now on X, and it's actually not readily available. It's not. It doesn't jump out at you here as to how to participate, and I probably that's the information that the community would like to have. That's just the feedback that would sort of benefit from. So I'll leave that with you, and yeah, thanks for the updates again.
Thank you, man.
As you know, we're always here every week. So if you want to give us a weekly update and more information as and when, we would be, definitely will appreciate it.
I'll do my best. You know, I work Sunday. Like I'll be at work in like maybe 1.5 hours. I usually jump on that space, and then at the end of the space, I'll be driving to work. So I'll do my best to show up every week. I don't mind, if it was some sort of time, but I'll do my best, man. I promise you.
No problem. I mean, you know what? I think, of course, first things first. I mean, work definitely comes first. And if this works, if you can do it, if you have this revolve around your, the primary commitment you have, then great. So as and when you can is pretty much it. Best effort basis. We all understand. And thank you for the work that you're doing so far. Great.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
Hey,
Thank you.
I had a question about Ozzy. Is the code open source? Can we look at the source on that? Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I hear you.
Honest. Can you send me a link to that code?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I'll send it to you, man.
Great. And I think I heard Ossie say that it was that the keys were renounced also. I think I heard you say that. So
yep.
Is that correct? Okay, good. Yeah, so that's okay. Okay, good. So we move on. Now we kind of move on to the discussion that I kind of made reference to earlier, and that's would really love to hear where our founders see TitanX and the TitanX ecosystem in the next 6 months. We're now sort of the halfway mark of the year, and so I think it will be good. Sort of looking forward, where do we see TitanX in the next 6 months? It's really good. I think it'll be good for the community. A lot of people who are not able to assess the information that we have, or that we've been able to kind of familiarize ourselves with on a regular basis, may very well be thinking that, where are we heading? And it doesn't matter that we hold these weekly updates, and it doesn't matter that they can, of course, come into each Telegram group and or do a deep dive themselves. The fact is that if a community or a good portion of the community doesn't feel properly informed, then assumptions are made, and I think part of the function that we perform here is to make sure that our community is one of the best informed in the ecosystem, in the entire crypto ecosystem, because we know what we are here, what we are about, and what we're trying to achieve. And so I think on that note, I'll let Eric, sorry about, we'll start with you. So where do you see TitanX in the next 6 months? What do you see, and what insights would you like to share? Thanks.
Well, I can't speak to any specific project developments. I mean, I have some information on X28, but I'm not sure how up to date it is. It seems pretty bullish, and if it's possible that stakes are burned as a part of that, and I'm not sure that they are, but that bodes well for the buy and burn for DragonX, right? So that's additional capital that can be used to support the price. Overall, things seem a bit depressed right now. So it seems like it's chartering sideways, and it might be doing that for a while until we get some solid launches up, which is why I'm here to help you guys accelerate your progress on development. 6 months, I mean, you're looking past 280 at that point. So I think at that point, a lot of the weekends will probably have dumped. That's going to be the moment of either vindication or another leg down, probably. Vindication in the case that the community sticks around, doesn't obliterate the price, and that the build on TitanX projects are there to support the price. So if that happens, I think things will be looking really good. But if people have already exhausted themselves on TitanX and they capitulate there, that could be a not so good moment. But honestly, I can't forecast beyond that. Like I'm not quite sure. I mean, the best I can give you is like it can either go up or down, right? Which tells you nothing. But I'm pretty bullish on what's being built right now, and I certainly want to keep building for TitanX.
Okay, great. Thanks for your insights there. Can I accept James?
Yeah. Thanks very much. Honestly, I almost feel like the same sentiment as what Eric said. So I wouldn't really project into the future, but I'd say overall, I think sentiment is still fairly. There's pockets of positivity in sentiment, and I like to see that. And with all the developers coming up, there's a handful of new things coming. I'm really bullish on it. In fact, I just went out and bought a little bit more of everything over the weekend. So yeah, I'm going to give it the bullish hand up. Thanks.
Great, thanks, James. Dude.
Yeah, I think everything's kind of going as planned. We've had the hyperinflationary stage, the fair launch, getting these tokens into all the initial participants, and early adopters obviously get a massive stake in the TitanX ecosystem. But we have now shifted to more deflationary. Obviously, now that mining's not profitable, miners are still being claimed, but nobody's starting new miners. So to me, that in itself is bullish. Just on a simple supply and demand concept, the supply is coming to a stop at the end of this year. So if demand stays the same, economics say the price goes up. So all of that seems to me like that's kind of how this was planned to work, and it seems like it's going as planned. And then the other main aspect of this plan is the build on TitanX protocols, and that is clearly working as well, right? Like we've got successful projects already launched with like what Eric's got going, and James and I, and then obviously everybody's bullish on Blaze and Pulsar coming out very soon. Ouroboros, like to me, this is all part of the plan. We've gone through the hyperinflationary. Now we've got the build on TitanX protocols coming out. And from what I can tell, you know, like Eric's not done, I'm not done. Like all these builders are continuing to build, and every time they come out with new products, new projects, like that's just one more thing to add to attacking the TitanX supply. Yeah, like as far as, and also, like, I did not expect us to be going up. Like this whole last month, we've been increasing in price, which, you know, is the bottom end already. You know, like I would not have guessed that, but now I'm starting to wonder. But like sentiment wise, like I'm bullish on it. You know, and day 280 is going to be a rocky volatility, you know, time frame. But again, you know, Jake's got the vortex that's designed, you know, that's going to trigger, you know, the ETH in that vortex is going to trigger after that. So if people want to dump all their TitanX and we see a new low, to me that's fine, because we've got lots of buy and burn ready to go for that time, you know. And like Blaze has said, they're going to have some of their buy and burn allocated towards attacking the day 280 supply as well. So yeah, to me, it's all going as planned. I'm bullish. Obviously not for tomorrow or the next day, but in the next 6 months, absolutely.
Great, thanks, dude. Let's see, Utah Crypto, over to you.
Well, I'm pretty much on the same page with Dude. Excuse me. I might be a little too bullish, honestly. I think 6 months from now, the sentiment in this space is going to be 180 degrees from where we're at right now, honestly. For sure, 180 degrees from where it was about 3 weeks ago when I was in the what the fuck stage along with everybody else, right? It got pretty bad there for a while. You know, 280 is a concern. How big of a concern? I really don't know, because by the time we get there, you know, we've got a lot of things, you know, here to eat up supply. So it might not last too long. We don't really know yet, but I'm pumped on TitanX. I am. Like, I think we're going to do really, really well, and I'm very excited to see what X28 is going to be, because, you know, love him or hate him, you know, Jake's here to win, and I think he just might shock everybody with what he's building. We just don't really know, but yeah, I think, you know, by the time 280 rolls around, I think everybody that was going to dump is going to dump, and there just might be some people right there ready to buy that dip, you know, because the supply after that time frame is very limited. So I think people will feel a lot safer buying that dip and buying right then, because from then on out, there's not a lot of supply. So I agree with what Dude's saying, and I think it's gonna do really well personally. But this is crypto, so who knows?
Yeah, I didn't think about the X28, you know, as a factor as well. That's going to bring TitanX to all of these other chains. Think about all the people that are not on ETH. You know, the gas fees are too high for them. They go to base chain or whatever, Arbitrum, all these other chains that they hang out on. X28 is going to target all of those people. You know, think about all the increase in holders that we'll get with what he's launching. You know, like, to me, that's awesome. And then once he does that, that allows other builders like myself to utilize TitanX on these other chains as well. And I can build new projects on other chains to utilize that. Yeah, but like right now, that's not really feasible until then. So yeah, that's a great point. I think X28 could really change things. Plus, you know, everybody, there's lots of people that don't listen, they don't participate in any of these other build on Titan projects. I saw a lot of people with Hyper, like they love Jake and Jake only, and they participate in whatever he puts out there. And I saw a lot of people with Hyper that same way. Like, I don't care what it is, Jake's amazing. I'm going to participate. So I suspect there's going to be a lot of people like that for X28 as well. And regardless, I think there's going to be quite a bit of participation on that end.
That's really, I mean, honestly, really good analysis. That's gonna be flowing here. So thank you, thanks everyone. There's quite a bit to chew on. I completely agree with the overall positive sentiment about the future. That is really pretty much the side of the fence that that I'm actually on. I actually do see this performing very well. I think the fact that if you look at sort of 6 months ago when we're looking out into the future, we thought, okay, when we're fully minted, that would have a lot of TitanX tokens out on the market there, and that may be that may be an issue. And even when Hyper was discussed, and we were expecting Hyper to launch, we're looking at Hyper as helping absorb that excess TitanX tokens on the market. I am not that too concerned this time. I mean, we're just looking at the numbers we went through earlier. You look at the numbers there in totality, you can see you've got over 100 trillion TitanX tokens. If you just look at the TitanX distribution, look at the website, and look at the starts page, and you add up all the tokens, it's about 100 trillion over 100 trillion. Now, you look at what we're expecting on day 280, that's another 18 or 20 trillion, or a little bit over that. I haven't checked it recently. And so, in effect, you're looking at over 120 trillion tokens. Now, of that, we've already bought and burned 44 trillion. And on top of that, you've got to build on TitanX protocols. On top of that, you've got the of course, you've got Hyper, that's separate. In total, those two probably about 17, 18 trillion. In effect, we're really closing in on, say, 50 to 60 trillion tokens. That are sort of, you'll say, liquid. Putting aside staked tokens for a minute. Now, with the amount of ETH that we have in the buy and burn, TitanX buy and burn, if managed correctly, in a bull market, this may very well grow significantly. That is pretty much what we all anticipate. With that level of firepower in a market that is really on the up and up, if you like, in a bull market, you can really you can do something here. In effect, I think it is one of our community members is Investology is what I think his handle goes on. It may be butchering the name also, but
Investologic.
Investology. He has come up with this analysis, which shows that taking into account the buy and burn, taking into account, of course, our build on TitanX projects, we're probably looking at about 18 or maybe 18 to 20 trillion tokens. Now, if we're looking at in about 6 months to say 9 months, first quarter of next year, is only about, say, 18 to 20 trillion TitanX tokens, I think you can actually say, I mean, the squeeze on the supply, and with an ecosystem that has been built out with all the build on TitanX protocols, that pressure definitely will result into something positive on the price side. So the price action within the next 6 months, heading into the first quarter of next year, if all the levers are pulled and all the levers behave as we're expecting, to buy and burn, used correctly, and so on, I do think that we might be in for a pleasant surprise here. But in any case, I think the reason this exercise is to give us a view of what the future is likely to look like, and for our community members who wonder what is our direction of travel. And you see that sometimes in the comments to say, okay, listen, we haven't lost sight of the narrative here. It is still the same narrative, backed up by data, the data that we have available, and we have tons of data available here that we can actually look at and make and take a view. And that is saying a lot. It's a lot more than you see a lot of other ecosystems are able to do. So this is pretty much underpinned by data that has been generated over time, very transparent. So I think what I'm saying here is, listen, guys, there is a lot to play for. The milestones, we've kind of set them out. We know exactly where they are. I am actually looking at that 280 day, and it may very well be that that's absorbed into the market, as in people sort of sell, or it may be that people see what we see, or kind of see peep into the future and say, okay, this is where we're heading. We're not selling. And so you might end up in a point where, okay, you know what? A good chunk of that is people just huddle, waiting for, if you like, end of year, first quarter of next year. So let's see how we behave as a community come to day 280. Now, day 369, a proposal that I'll be putting out there, and I would hope that as a community that we can kind of chew on this and probably, and of course, give our view in time. It is the case that we've got about 9 million, between 9 to 10 million in that pool, the 369 day pool. Now, if, as it is here, we know for sure, you look at TitanX Hub, we know the protocols that have contributed to this ecosystem and have helped grow this ecosystem. Now, if the Genesis wallet is able to allocate a good chunk of the TitanX there towards these two, just exactly like what happened with DragonX, but to other protocols this time, so that a good chunk of what we have there, a significant chunk of what we have in day 369 goes to these protocols that are built on TitanX protocols. And they can do exactly what you had DragonX do, which is in effect, use the TitanX and stake it. And the ETH received, that goes into buy and burn pools of the various protocols. Now, this isn't going to be for every protocol. The protocol must have demonstrated significant input into the TitanX ecosystem. Now, for those of us who have staked, I mean, I participate in a big way on the staking front, and I only speak for myself, but I'll be perfectly willing. It seems, of course, Shogun, we haven't heard much about that, but it seems Shogun and X28 may very well overlap. But if what we have, I think Shogun's original, it seems, view was it could actually help. It will be a tool that can help stakers, individual stakers who want to go liquid, want to be able to take their or burn their stakes and then move into a different protocol and have access to those funds. I mean, if you have X28/Shogun working side by side with an arrangement within the community that the Genesis wallet dedicates a huge chunk of that towards our build on TitanX protocols, so that you have the ETH in that pool pretty much go back into buying and burning TitanX and our various goes into pretty much the various buy and burn pools within the TitanX ecosystem. And I think that even further turbocharges, I think, the ecosystem. That's just my view. I think it's something we could chew on. I'm keeping an eye on that 369 date. There's the different ways this could be done, but I just want to throw that out there. Again, it's not for us to debate today. We chew on it, and I'm sure we're going to, we can come up with something and approach Jake and speak to him about it, because it's all towards the health of this ecosystem. Okay, Mike, can I just round up this segment and come up to the hour mark?
No worries. Yeah, I'll just I'm just going to add in some of my thoughts as well.
Please, yes, of course.
All right. Yeah, so I mean, one of the things which I'm also looking on TitanX.com is the burn / staked TitanX, because I think that's just like one figure which at least that's like reducing the supply pretty much. Or when it's staked, it's taken out of the supply and it will never come back ever to become liquid or something. Because the last thing you want to have is, sure, if something is just locked up maybe for a year or two, fair enough, but it will come back for sure. But if something is completely burned and staked away and it can never come back, I think that's pretty good. And I'm looking at Helios actually, and they're reaching very soon 1 trillion. So looking forward to that. I think it's currently 930 billion. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that as well. That number seems to be growing, because I think in the beginning it was definitely way less than that. So that number is growing. And we got also number two. Well, number one is TitanX itself. So one of the things which I thought what's gonna happen was, I'm thinking now, what project will come out and burn more than TitanX? So that's that's going to be something interesting. So that's why the listing right now, it's sorted to the most burned one. So that's why you have TitanX number one. But if for whatever reason somebody is able to do more burn than TitanX, they're gonna dethrone TitanX itself. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe DragonX. I don't know if you guys can manage, because the ETH which DragonX gets, they also buy and burn. They buy TitanX as well and stake that. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. So that number will also go up. So yeah, so that's something definitely looking forward to. So some of the projects which are coming up are going to be burning or staking. Probably there's definitely before the 369, especially if what Eric had said, or the rumors which are going around, that X28 you can burn your stakes. So the remaining stakes, the percentage will just go up. So DragonX will receive more and Helios will receive more. And so I'm looking forward to that. Potentially that's also going to open up for maybe other projects which could also be doing the staking part, which will take TitanX out of the circulation. And I think that's definitely a good thing. And if I'm just looking at the future mintable TitanX by month, I'm looking at the premium TitanX.com here. I can see, so the peak is going to be around September, and then it goes down very quickly down. So October and November, like very low, and December essentially, well, it's essentially like 159 billion pretty much. And the peak will be September with 25.6 trillion. And August itself, I think August is going to be the 280 days that falls into that. That's going to be 21.2 trillion. So September is going to be even higher than the 280 days per se. So yeah, looking forward to that. And if I just look for one thing regarding the mintable TitanX. So if I just compare, let's say we don't have any buy and burn whatsoever, how many supply would we have had up to now? And that would be around 113 trillion. If there was no buy and burning or no staking or whatsoever. So that would be 113 trillion. And right now we have 39 trillion. So obviously, so that is the staking, the Hyper, BNB has burned TitanX, and and all the other contracts as well. So that's quite significant in some ways. And if from now on no buy and burn or no staking or nothing happens, we're going to end up with 120, what is it? 125 trillion. That's like if no burns happened whatsoever. But obviously that's not going to happen. So there's the buy and burn, and then there's all others, these other projects which are going to be coming as well. So I'm looking forward to see at the end of the year how much supply it's actually going to be, like what we end up with, right? So I'm really looking forward to that, and yeah, we'll see from there. And I'm going to be displaying the numbers on TitanX.com as good as possible, and hopefully some new features are going to be coming soon. I have a bit more time now, the next week or two, so hopefully I can update some few things. Looking forward to that too.
Great, thanks, Mike. Thanks for giving the, you know, the level of a level of insight there that is just, yeah, really good. And I think that it tells the, you know, the story, and we're looking forward to it. So I think we open up now. This is really we open up, and I think I'm going to send an invite. I think Mo, you were going to send you an invite earlier. Please, this, you know, the floor is open for, you know, any comments, any questions. Let's you know, take this opportunity and do that. So if you want to come up, let me know, and I'll bring you up. If you have any question for our builders, please also feel free.
Hey, I'd like to add that same with DragonX. 70% of the ETH that we're getting is going into.
Sorry, Mask. I think
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. But Dude was in mid-sentence. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Let Dude finish. When he finishes, you could jump in. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I was just pointing out that 70% of the ETH that we get from our TitanX stake goes into buying and burning Helios, which the first step in doing that is taking that ETH and buying TitanX. And then with that TitanX, we're using that to buy and burn Helios. So same as DragonX, a big portion of that day 369 pool, a lot of that ETH is going to go towards buying TitanX itself. So another bullish aspect of the whole ecosystem, in my opinion. Also, I wanted to address Zeus Crypto's got a comment about Eros. Just to clarify, as far as Merrick goes, from what I can tell, he has tucked his tail and ran away. I don't think we're going to see him back in the space. I could be wrong, but that's what I've kind of seen. And from what I've seen, like what I can tell with the whole Eros thing is that it wasn't Merrick. Merrick, where he went wrong was really it was just gross negligence on his part to not have any control over Eros at all. All of the owner keys were not under his control. He was the face of the project, and that gave a lot of people trust in the project, but in reality, in the background, he had zero control of the protocol, and myself included. I was not aware of this, and I think that's part of the reason where they went wrong. And as far as like me working with Eros, I didn't have anything to do with their project specifically. All I was doing was creating a partnership in the sense that we created a shared liquidity pool with Giannis and Eros. And the way we did that was I sent them I sent Giannis to them, and they sent an equal amount in USD value of Eros back. And then we created this LP pool where we each owned half of that LP. Unbeknownst to me, I worked with Merrick through all of this, and He's the one that sent me the wallet addresses to send the Giannis to, and where we're doing all of these LPs with. Excuse me. And without me knowing, that was actually Hellwell's wallets. I was working with Hellwell without knowing who Hellwell was. And that's where I feel like the disconnect happened. I thought I was working with Merrick when in reality he did not own any of these keys, which, you know, if rule number one in crypto, not your keys, not your coins. And that's something that I learned in the process to be more diligent about, is to be, you know, I assumed he owned these wallets, which in hindsight, now that we know, he did not own any of it. So as far as Merrick goes, I don't think he was any part of the scam. I still think it was all Hellwell that was doing all the scamming, as he owned all the keys to all these wallets. And in that process, he pulled the, you know, he dumped a bunch of arrows into Giannis, and then dumped all the Giannis on the market, pretty much wrecking our chart minus 40%. So another lesson learned on my end, to be more diligent with who we work with. But I think I answered the question, where is Merrick? And after the arrows collapsed, and I know there's Damien. He was part of the team, and I believe that he still wants to build and do some things, and I'm in contacts with him. Obviously, if I have anything to do with any of these future projects, they will be vetted by me, and I will make sure, if my face is on anything, that it will be safe to interact with. Yeah, what's up, Eric?
Yeah, I would say at this point, just stay away from that team. Guys, at some point, you like, I'm not trying to be brutal here, but like at some point you need to draw the line. It was like 5 different rebrands. There was WitcherX, whatever, there was KingX, QueenX. All of it was basically the same launch mechanic with like a shoddy roadmap. For those of you that don't know the backstory, basically when KingX was going to launch, minutes before the launch, my team was able to look at the code, and we realized that had it launched, the code would have been untradeable, and all of the funds would have been lost instantly. So we stopped that project from launching, which is why they went dark for a little while there and then tried to rebuild. But yeah, so guys, just that team needs to stop building now. Don't support what they build. It's too late. If they want to support other legit projects, that's great. That's probably a better use of their time at this point. And there's a lot of great projects launching. We have a lot of great builders. We don't need to keep looping back. And I think one of the problems is that a lot of what's being built right now, it doesn't actually use Liquid TitanX. And so you have a bunch of people who have all of this value and they want to use it on new protocols, but they are unable to do that because the other protocols that have launched, like Hyper and others, they don't really use that much TitanX. And that's not to knock those projects, but I think that that's an opportunity for other builders to fill that gap. You know, builders we can trust. That's it.
Thanks, Eric. That's a valuable insight there, and thanks to you and your team for doing that, for stepping in and you know, and doing that, because I mean, this is the first time that I'm hearing about this, and can you imagine if they had gone ahead and there would have been an uncontrollable explosion. Because at the time,
yeah, I actually needed to. I paid out of my own funds. I paid for Dead Robes to look at the contracts at the last minute because the auditor they had was an 18-year-old kid. So it's definitely not a good look. And yeah, I wouldn't say it was a situation where it was like they tried their best kind of thing, because they didn't pay for the audits. They didn't even verify the contracts on chain. So they didn't do basic things. Like, it's not a matter of we tried our best and it didn't work out, because I would totally be understanding if that was the case, but it's really a matter of just negligence. And we have to accept that reality and just be more careful about what we put our TitanX into.
Well said. Definitely. We had a review I think 2 weeks ago, And I think definitely as a community, we definitely would adopt a more stringent approach to reviewing new new projects, new teams. And of course, it is the individual responsibility of each community member to take a closer look as well. One of the points, as you mentioned here, is whether the contract is verified. And yes, and of course, we continue to raise the bar. And I think for all of us here, it is important for us as a community. We know as we approach in this bull market, a lot of retail people are going to come in who really don't understand this market that well. And they're going to be looking for places to go to or projects to call, if you like, their home. And a lot of these people are going to lose their funds, unfortunately, not because they invested in a project that just simply did not work. It'll be worse than that. It'll be people just, having being taken advantage of, their funds being stolen. And I think if there's one advantage of this first principle approach to building that we have here, it's that we have this ecosystem ready for when your retail is kind of ready to join or ready to take a look at how things are how things are run and managed here. So long or short of it, I think our builders are doing a great job. I think from an ethics perspective, the fairness of how projects are launched, I can't overemphasize that point. And I think when we say here that we appreciate our builders, this is what we mean. If you take a look at other projects that launch out there and see how people are taken advantage of, people in this community can definitely attest to the fact that that as a community we really do our best to work together to protect the community and mitigate against such risks. Anyway, I'm going to come off my soapbox for now and just simply and just park that for now. But it's something that we all should definitely bear in mind. And I say again, thanks, Eric, for the work that you do that you don't you don't even bring to the notice of the community. And thanks to everyone else who's also kind of looking out for the community. Great, Mask. Thanks for waiting patiently. Over to you.
Appreciate that. Just want to say all heroes don't wear capes. Eric, dude, man, appreciate y'all for what y'all do for our community. In and out, like I be watching. Of course, I'm a mod in TitanX, I'm a mod in the mod, and I'm a mod in DragonX. Shout out to DragonX. Best protocol on no offense to other protocols, but best protocol on TitanX. With that being said, just kind of wanted to comment on what Eric was talking about as far as like the individuals that we were that created arrows. I see a lot of people want to recreate arrows because it was a good protocol, this and that. And the team wanna, like, I have my thoughts on it, of course. But some people just trying to convince me, like, after I heard like the backstory, is like, okay, the rebranding and all that. Yeah, like sometimes you just got to put people to the side. I know that kind of seems a little messed up as far as community wise. But sometimes you just got to do that. You know what I'm saying? And we got to definitely, as a community, we got to start looking at the asking more questions about like the contracts and stuff like that. And I think individuals should like sit in the hot seat when they come to our community, especially, Dude was in the hot seat. He got flamed. Eric was in the hot seat. He got flamed, and their projects withstood the test of time. And I think as a community, any individual that was, and Jake got hot flamed too. And I think as a community, anytime that an individual comes to that, because like with the Eros, we didn't ask many questions about it. Like honestly. We kind of just said, oh, really good project, and kind of just threw our time and energy into it. And would you throw your time and energy to something significant if the possibility of you being it being corrupt, or would you question or look more into it? And I think as a community we need to kind of look at that, because I get it. Like, Jake has built a really good community, and we got really good projects and developers. But at the same time, we have to be careful and understand that even though in our safe community, there are people that will try to come in here and sneak in here and half-ass it, as Eric was saying. And we have to be cautious of people half-assing it and not just trust them because they're part of our community, but they need to be vetted through, just like the individuals that were vetted through that have like the top protocols in our ecosystem. The other thing I wanted to add was like, no offense to the other projects, but we need projects that benefit TitanX like wholly. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just looking at this wrong, but and like I said, I'm not giving any names an example, but any protocol that's built on TitanX needs to benefit TitanX fully before we go out of the community with it. You know what I'm saying? It needs to, like, that's just my personal thought on it. If somebody else shoot me, somebody shoot me a text or a DM if you feel like I'm wrong, but I think it should benefit our community to the fullest before we start before we start sending our community members, because the community makes a project. And not just some things that I was a little concerned about. I may be looking at it wrong, but like I said, without a community, we don't have a project. And the project can be good as possible, but if it doesn't have a community to back it up, then it's just a project that's not used. That's my thoughts on and what I wanted to say. That was it.
Thanks. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The community is everything, and that's good. Well said. Anybody else? Does anybody else have anything else to add? Mo, gonna send you an invite. Chizzy, sending you one as well. Anybody else? I'll say we're coming up to the hour-and-a-half mark. I think we should, if there's nothing else to add, I think we've had a really good and lively discussion. We've heard from our founders. We've had certain questions answered and some great insights shared. I think if there's nothing else to add, I'll be looking at us wrapping up within the next 10 minutes. So yeah, this is our chance. This is our kind of opportunity. If there's anything, any concerns, any questions to share or to ask, any concerns, please feel free. Okay, so let's start rounding up. I must say thanks to everyone for attending, making the time to attend. We've had a really good attendance today, and I would say in the last weeks, definitely. Looking forward, I think we've heard the different views from different individuals here, our founders as well, to see where we're heading and what the next 6 months. Yes. Okay. Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Okay.
Texas.
Yeah,
Yes.
Texas. Yes, it's from Texas.
Okay.
I heard what your idea was. Plan A for the volume one, the money, and volume one, and that you wanted to. Hello,
no,
sir?
you mean the buy and burn pools? I mean,
yeah, the buy and burn pool. Yeah, that you want to support the protocols that was built on.
Oh no, so sorry to interrupt. It's not the buy and burn pools. It's actually the 369 payout pool.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. Okay. Well, anyway, I thought that was a good idea, supporting people who develop for TitanX and for the community. But in that B1 pool, the buy and burn pool, I was thinking like just the idea to put out there that if we could put that money in some type of liquid forming protocol, and take the yield from that, and support the developers and everything and all those protocols that we have built on TitanX. That way we get to keep the money and we're just spending the yield, and that should just keep like a loop, funding the protocols to, I guess, forever. So I just want to put that out there.
Okay, so just so that I make sure, make sure I get that I've understood you correctly. Are you suggesting? Are you suggesting? Okay, the payouts from the 369 pool that goes to the. Okay.
No, not the 369. I wasn't talking about I'm talking about that. I think it's $15 or $17 million in the buy and burn pool version 1.
Okay.
I'm talking about that money, right? That's just sitting there. I was thinking like, why can't we just take that money, right, and put it in some liquid, forming, right? That you guys pick that's very stable, earn some, stable interest. Take that interest and support the people that the people who develop on these different protocols for TitanX.
Okay.
I can give a comment to that.
Okay, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the thing is that ETH on buy and burn, the only thing that ETH can do is buy and burn, nothing else. That there is no other way to get that money apart from buy and burn.
For version 1.
Yeah. For as far as I remember, both versions.
Oh man. Oh God. Whew. Every time I look at that money, I was like, God, we could be just doing so much with that money.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're talking about, this is exactly what Haley is trying to do. Actually, I think they have I think, dude, you could probably talk more about that regarding the investments you guys trying to do as well. So I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I understand what he's trying to do, and I love what he's trying to do. And I hope he's very successful with that. I think it's a great idea. But I've been here since the second month in TitanX, and I'm behind the scenes, and I'm part of the community, and I'm rooting for TitanX. So I'm over and I'm out. Good job, and hang in there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Texas, and thanks for the for the suggestion. I think that this is really what we want to encourage here. Community members are coming up with ideas. We discuss them. We take them on board, and we move forward, of course. But thanks again for that. I think Mike is definitely right. No one can access the funds in those two pools. They can't be reached or transferred or moved. They can only be used for the purpose for which the stated purpose. That's the buying and burning of TitanX. But anyway, great. Thanks. Any other questions before we round up? Good. Okay. Now I'll just say final comments. Let's say, Dude.
No, I think we pretty much covered it all. This was a solid week of Plan A space, and looking forward to next week.
Great, thanks. OpSec, do you have anything else to say or add?
Thank you, man. Actually, the last thing, there's a giveaway on right now. I'm giving away 10 billion TitanX. Just keep the community active. That's the last I'll say. I appreciate your time and I appreciate everything.
Great. And where should community members go to in order to participate?
In the giveaway?
Yes.
It's in my profile. I bent it out there.
Your X.
Yeah, my X account. That's my only social media account, actually.
Okay. Great.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Mike,
Yes.
your closing remarks.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to thank everybody for joining in again. Yeah, for all the builders who came up today as well. I'm really looking forward to some of the projects which are going to be launching. I mean, I think we got Blaze an update that they're going to be launching this month definitely. So I updated that in the TitanX website that it was May, but now June. So really looking forward to to the launch of Blaze actually. So and all in all, I think TitanX, the next few months, I guess that there's going to be more inflation coming. So but then again, also a lot of other projects going to be launching. So really looking forward to see how that balances out everything else. And yeah, that's I think we're looking good from my standpoint of view. And the other thing is probably just would like to mention is I mean, if you guys know if any projects need like some on-chain data analysis or analytics on Dune dashboards and so forth, don't hesitate to DM me. This is, I mean, you've seen what kind of work I do. So if a projects want to have that, just let me know, and then we can we can see in the DMs. Thank you, and see you next week then again.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. Again, thanks to our founders. Blaze, thank you for the great work you're doing. I think Utah Crypto has given us a really comprehensive update, and we're looking forward to the launch this month. Thanks again to Eric, that's DragonX. Helios, dude, thank you so much. James, I think, James, baby DragonX, has given us his good update as well, and watch this space. I think he may be coming up with a few other projects in time. But in any case, I think we've had a good session, good updates, and I want to say again to everyone, thank you for attending. Have a great week ahead, and we'll do it all over again next week. Take care. Bye for now.